Hey guys, welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I asked my Discord server to make some tier lists for Anime Last Stand. And they did, and now I'm gonna rate all of them and make fun of them. If you want to be in events like this, then make sure to join the Discord server. It'll be linked in the description, pretty cool place. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into a sick rap battle. Here's the first tier list, and the first thing you'll notice is there's not that many units on here. That's because I tried to not put in units that are garbage and just don't matter. So I put in some more recent and some more meta units. So let's go ahead and start with S tier. Escanora over Dio and Sukuna is a pretty bold move right there. And also I don't think Yamamoto should be an S tier. He is like one of the highest DPS units in the game. But there are a lot more units that have higher DPS than him. I'm talking like 6, 7 more units. And he doesn't really have any support factors. He's just a really good fire unit. Kind of like a devolved Escanor. I do think Yuhaba actually belongs in S tier because he does have a good buff. He's a good water unit, really good DPS. Rimuru also has a really good support ability. I think it does a 15 billion nuke and anyone under 15% HP will die. And that's actually meta for leaderboard runs. I'm pretty sure at least. I haven't done a leaderboard run in a long time. But if I were to do a leaderboard run, I think I would probably bring her, or him. Sorry, every time I call Rimuru her, I get a lot of comments about it. It's just instinct. I don't know why I do it. Benimaru also belongs in S tier. He is like the best placement unit. I do think Aizen probably does belong in the top of S tier. He's the highest DPS unit in the game by far, but he's like Sung Jin Woo where you have to wait like 80 plus waves just to get him to his max damage. Overall, S tier, pretty valid. Moving down to A tier though. I'm noticing Gremmy is at the top. Gremmy got a little bit of a nerf this update. He should definitely not be above Ichigo. Editor, put up the differences between the two in DPS. So yeah, you can see Ichigo does have a lot more DPS. But to be fair, you can just get Shinigami on Gremmy and call it a day because Shinigami is pretty good on him. It used to be better than Glitch. I don't know what they did to change that, but now it's a pretty substantial amount worse. I don't think Kenpachi's that good. He's got really good DPS, but he's got really bad AoE DPS. Division Vice Captain definitely belongs in A tier. He's a top tier light placement unit. Good old Needle Queen. I actually think she's probably the coolest unit added this update. Her element is strong against every element. Plus, she's just a cool looking unit. Now B tier. This is where things are starting to get pretty weird. Ichigo above Kira? I don't know about that. Kira's got a lot more DPS. Ichigo is a really good support, so I would move him down to Mega support or support. Other than that, B tier is pretty good. I definitely wouldn't put Julius in B tier. I'd put him in support. And I would probably put Freerin above Division Vice Captain. She does less DPS than him on placement, but she's hybrid. And she's also a light unit. I actually don't know how strong this unit is at all, so... C tier, Kaiju should definitely be moved up, and Johnny should be moved up. Support is looking good. Well, Mega support. Normal support's looking good. I would probably move... I would definitely put, Garo under Shanks. And the farms are also looking good. So overall, I'll give this tier list a 7.5 out of 10. It's every next tier list. Now at the top of S tier, I'm noticing Kira.
Huh?
Oh my god, dude, this tier list looks horrible. This is so much worse than the other one. By the way, Kira also got a nerf, just like Grimmy did. S tier would be fine. It's just Kira doesn't need to be there, and Gojo would probably be moved down to Mega support or support. Now A tier. You put some of the best units in the game in A tier. First off, we got Aizen, the highest DPS unit in the game by far. I wonder how many times I put the DPS list on screen. Askin is like the second highest DPS unit right now. Even higher DPS than Ichigo, so he should also be in S tier. Guts is also way too high up. And I used to be a Guts glazer. I'm just coming to terms with the reality that he's not good anymore. B tier, honestly, is kind of fine. I would probably put Division Vice Captain in A tier. C tier is where things get crazy again, because it was already pretty crazy. You're telling me
Oh
Yuno
my god, bro.
and Ichigo are in the same tier? Even Saul Goodman ain't helping in this one, bro. Pretty much every unit in C tier does not belong in C tier, besides Yuno. Mega support is fine, but some of the units up here definitely need to be in support and mega support. But overall, I'm going to give this a 3 out of 10. Actually, no, a 2.5 out of 10. If you went and showed this to someone that just started the game, they would turn out like the Joker if you gave them this. Next, tier list. So I'm noticing Speedwagon is pretty high up. That's justifiable. Ichigo's in C tier. Wait, hold on. What's going on? Oh my god, this is another horrible tier list. Oh my, it took 1 second. Aizen and Askin are super low. Both of them are probably better than all of these godlies. I mean, is he really though? He doesn't have any supports. He's definitely better than Escanor. A tier is fine, to be honest. I would definitely put Benimaru over Needle Queen. I really need to learn their actual name. I sound like such a loser every time I say it. Guts in B tier, I agree with you. Remy in B tier, now we're pushing it a little bit. B tier is also kind of okay. Fear should definitely be in Mega Support or Support. And again, Fear should be above Division Vice Captain. C tier, what's going on? Everything, to be honest, looks kind of decent until C tier. Ichigo, a godly unit in C tier. Ichigo is probably the least type godly though. I don't really care about the Ichigo godly. I cared way more about Aizen. Moving on, Ichigo, again, two Ichigos. Also in C tier, he should definitely be in A tier. Ichibei should also be in A tier. Actually, you could argue that he could be top of B tier. It depends on how lenient you are. Kenpachi should be somewhere in B tier, preferably higher up. Mega support is kind of okay. I wouldn't put Yuba in Mega support. I will give this tier list probably about 5 out of 10. Set the bar. A pretty average tier list. I would say if you gave pretty much any anime last stand player a tier list, they would probably make something like this. They would definitely put Ichigo higher though. So this fellow said, I don't know anything about the new unit. So that's how you know it's definitely about to be a pretty trash tier list. I literally gave the DPS list, so for people that didn't know what the new units did and how good they are, they could get at least a good idea of how good they are. But it's okay, we don't judge here. Oh, never mind, we do. Dio's in A tier. He's not even at the top of A tier. He's lower than Ichigo. Now, Benimaru in the top of S. That's pretty understandable, to be honest. You're gonna bring him almost pretty much anything you do besides infinite mode. He's the best unit for AFKing. You need him for Infinite Castle. You need him for most caverns. You need him for most legend stages. So I understand him being top of S tier. Rimuru, I also understand in S tier. Pretty much all of S tier deserves it. I would definitely put Gojo in Mega Support or Support though. Tatsumaki should not be in Mega Support. She is not a good support. I mean, she's good for early game support, but you would never see me using a Tatsumaki in Infinite mode. C tier. I mean, definitely belongs in C tier. I don't even know why I have him on this tier list. Johnny does not belong in C tier though. But moving back up, we're gonna go ahead and go to A tier. Aizen top of A tier. I mean, I get it. He's only good for infinite mode. And if you're going to do a leaderboard run, probably only about 1 or 2 people are going to be able to actually bring him and get him to his max damage. So hey, you could keep him in A tier if you want. It depends on what kind of person you are. Ichigo, I would also say, actually does deserve A tier. He's got real good DPS, but his AoE DPS is, it's whatever. Dio obviously belongs in S tier. I would say he's probably still the best godly. B tier. Save the bees, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Ichibei, I can understand him being in top of B tier. He's just a unit. He doesn't do that high. I mean, he does good DPS. He doesn't have any supports. He's just a unit that's there. He's probably the most mid unit in the game. Julius, though, I would probably put him in support or C tier. He does not have anything going for him besides his time stop. Division Vice Captain, also just sort of good placement unit. Ichigo has horrible DPS, but he's got a good support, so he makes up for it. So I'd probably just put him in support. Fear should also just be in Mega Support or Support. Overall, this tier list, you can't pressure me like this. Give me time. I'm gonna say this one is probably another 5 out of 10. I'll do 5.1.
I'm gonna have to go. I got one. That is my number. This is my review.
Because I do think it is slightly better than the last one. He definitely downplayed a lot of units. This one, I think I saw this one earlier and I was like, hold on, this is pretty garbage. But let's go ahead and see for ourselves. We're gonna start in S tier as per usual. We got Dio, Sukuna, yup, that's right. We got Rimuru, Asuka, Ichigo, Escanor, almost said Pride. Wait, what month is Pride month? Don't get mad that I don't know that. Pretty sure it's June. Yeah, it's June. When did Escanor come out? July. Escanor, you're a little bit late there, buddy. It's okay. I get June and July mixed up sometimes too. Yamamoto should not be in S tier. As I said before, he is kind of like an Alzheimer's version of Escanor. Pride Month man. And Kira also does not belong in S tier anymore after the nerf. I mean, he probably still wouldn't go in S tier anyway, because a lot of really good units came this update. I kind of knocked him down a pedestal or two. A tier. Can we stop with the Grammy glaze? Grammy was never even like that insane. But for some reason when the update dropped, he was like the prized unit of the update. I'm always seeing people talking about him. And personally, I hate Grammy. I think he's a stupid looking unit. He looks stupid. He would actually look cool if he was ultimate. But he's in Celestial, he looks stupid. Ichigo, yeah, he belongs in A tier. Ichibei and Kaiju, if you can be lenient, they're in about mid to bottom A tier. Kisuke just does not belong in A tier though. He'd probably go in support. The rest of A tier definitely deserves A tier though. B tier. This is actually a pretty solid B tier. I mean, Johnny and Ichigo should go in support, but hey, this is where I would rank them. And then C tier, I would assume that's pretty valid. Now, Mega Support. I feel like it's not that hard to get Mega Support wrong. Why is Julius here? He has like one of the worst time stops in the game. You can time stop for 30 seconds, I think every 300 seconds. For reference, Gojo can time stop, I think 15 seconds every 100 seconds or something like that, or 90 seconds. So that's just a lot more time stop time from Gojo here. And support tier, honestly, that's a good support tier. Overall, this tier list, I'm gonna give it probably a 6.5. I don't really think it's as good as the first tier list we saw. Maybe it's a little bit better. I don't know, it's kind of hard to judge like that. We'll just go ahead and give it a 7 to make it tied up. Decent tier list. Okay, this one, let me buckle up in my seat real quick, because I think this one might actually be pretty valid. Alright, we'll start off with S tier. Oh, he even added his own D and F tier. So S tier, we got Ichigo. How did I forget his name? Sukuna. And then Dio. And then also Yuba. Escanor top of A tier, though. I mean, I can understand it, to be honest. He doesn't have any supports. He's just a worse version of pretty much every other godly. Dio, Sukuna, and Escanor have relatively similar DPS. But the difference is, Dio and Sukuna both have pretty good support abilities. Ichigo also doesn't have any abilities, so I would also probably put him under Sukuna and Dio. He just does more DPS than them. But he's also a line AoE, and we all know what I think about line AoEs. Okay, moving down to A tier. So we got Aizen. Okay, I think Aizen should probably be in S tier, because he just does so much more DPS than every other unit when he's in infinite mode. He does like, I think, more than double Escanor's AoE DPS. It's just you're never going to use him for anything else. Yamamoto deserves A tier. Benimaru, I personally would put him somewhere in S tier, but you can get by putting him in A tier. Remy, bottom of A tier is, I'll accept it. And then Division Vice Captain, also bottom of A tier. We'll accept it. But B tier? What's Rimuru doing down in B tier, buddy? Rimru's got a real good support, got really good AoE DPS, pretty good DPS. Got more DPS than Shinigami Grimmy. So, I would say she's every other B tier. Oh, hold on, Askin in B tier? Yeah, he's basically just a worse version of Aizen. He does do more DPS than Ichigo, well, every godly actually. So I would definitely move him into at least A tier. Guts should definitely be moved down to C tier. And speaking of C tier, what's Ichigo doing in C tier? Johnny should definitely be higher up. He does pretty similar DPS to Ichigo. He does slightly less, but he also does cripple and slow. And then we got F tier. F tier is reasonable. Definitely the worst units on this list. In support, it's pretty valid. Mega support is also valid. This was a bit of a harsh tier list, but I'll give it a... Alright, this one's made by one of my buddies. First thing I'm noticing is everyone's in S tier. Grammy, Kira, and Gojo shouldn't be in S tier. Ooh, the Guts glaze is going wild. I can't even lie right now. Guts is not meta anymore. It's taken people a while to see that. Hey, don't get me wrong. He's still a good unit. He's just not that good. Rukia should go in support. A lot of people put... One of those things is a lot of people... Bro, I can't type. Bro, I can't speak! Oh my god! Not type. What a moron, bro. I'm chronically online. Anyways, people are putting support units in like S tier and A tier. Put them in support. What are you doing? Rest of A tier, pretty valid. I mean, Poochie, again, should be in support. Same thing with Kisuke. B tier, some supports are here that shouldn't be in B tier. They should be in support. Other than that, it's pretty good. And then C tier, what's with the Johnny hate? I mean, he's not that good. He's better than Guts, though. God dang. I will give this tier list a 4.5 out of 10. Also, he sent me this image, so it's going to bring him up a point. Or not a point, 0.1 point. So he gets a 4. I already figured out what I rated it. I think I'll give it a 4.6. And then the final tier list of the day. I'm hoping this one will be the highest rated one so far. First off, we got every godly in S. The Ichigo Glaze is kind of going crazy though. He's just a better version of Escanor. We can calm down about him. The rest of S tier definitely deserves it. I mean, Yojin should be in farms. I don't know why he's not doing that. And poor Aizen, he's blocked off. I don't even know if that's Aizen. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I don't know who he is. Ulquiorra in top of A tier. I don't know about that one, buddy. He's a pretty good placement unit. I mean, he's definitely the best nature placement unit. But if it's not a nature element, he's not going to compare to Benimaru and Rengoku. Rest of A tier looks fine. I mean, Gut shouldn't be up there. And Poochie should be in support. You could also put Rimmer in support. I don't know how I haven't noticed that yet, but she could definitely go in support. A tier, it's looking pretty good, though. The only problem is some supports should be in support! I swear. B tier, Ichigo should probably be an A tier. Other than that, B tier's looking fine. We already know what the complaint is. I'll give you hints about supports. C tier, they just shouldn't be in C tier. Now, moving on, this is probably the worst part of the tier list, is the mega support part. Now, I want you to explain to me, in what world is Division Vice Captain support? Askin is kind of a support unit. He's a stun. He's more of a DPS unit though, so I'd rather move him into S tier. Grammy, what? What? Why is Grammy in Mega support? This would Mega support is the supports that you will be using in a leaderboard run most likely. Why? You're only ever gonna use Grammy in a support run. Maybe you'll use him if it's a dark infinite mode and light units do more damage. I mean, Grammy does do fear before you max him out, but once you do max him out, he doesn't do fear anymore. Speedwagon's in mega support. He's just a farm. Put him in the farms category. Did you make this tier list in 3 seconds? Now Johnny is in mega support. I personally wouldn't put him in mega support. I'd put him in support. How is Kenpachi in support? Wait, does he do fear? He's just like Grimmy. He used to do fear. But then once you get into his max upgrade, he does hemorrhage. This tier list is garbage. S tier is based and red pilled, and then everything just it slowly got worse over time. Like S tier is really good. A tier is okay. B tier is not that good. C tier is bad. Mega support just doesn't make sense. And farms just doesn't even exist. So anyways, that's going to be it for today's video. Before any of you ask me to make my own tier list, I'm not going to do that because I do have a history of making tier lists, and people get mad at me sometimes, and that kind of ruins my day. Makes me cry. I've ripped out my hair hundreds of times. One time I tried to cut my leg off with a chainsaw because of one of the comments. If the Twin Towers were still here, you know what I would have done. I would have cured cancer. But anyways, I want to do more videos where I contribute to the community, interact with everybody in the Discord. So please join the Discord. One of my favorite parts about making videos is the community. And also some of my least favorite parts about doing this is the community. Or what? The mysterious item appeared. If you don't know what that is, before the JoJo's up, you would have to collect this scroll. But then they just changed it to where it drops from legend stages. So everybody who waited like 15 hours in the freaking lobbies got executed. That's what happened. They got executed. So I'll see you guys in the next video where I give my friend a phone in a paper or in a plastic bag, and then I somehow make him drop it, and then the phone breaks, and I say, you just broke it. You just broke my phone. It's a banger right there. Bye.
Oh, he about to spin it.
My name is Conan. Yeah. My name is Conan. Yeah. And that's pretty good, right?
That was fire.
That was fire.
Round of applause.